All right, welcome to another episode of 94 Feet, where we talk about everything that goes on in the 94 feet of the court. As you guys know, I'm legendary Shane, a.k.a. the voice of the people, alongside my host here.
And I am Jay, and we got a special guest in the building.
What up?
We got Locked On Bucks host,
What up?
Packers podcast. What's the name of that?
Carry the G and MKE.
Carry the G and MKG. Y'all here. Technical Foul podcast. And she be on 2K too, man.
I be hooping, fam.
She be on 2K. Hey.
I ain't even gonna lie.
He be talking about he good on there. He nice.
Oh, he see me on 2K.
Hey, fam.
Well, he beat me by 30 one time. Listen,
You
Next game was
control.
only about like 19 the
but
next time.
No, it was only
17.
like
17.
No, it was 15. It was 15.
It was definitely 17.
It was
'Cause
15. So
that
I got
last
better.
shot.
But before he beat
Okay.
me by 30, I ain't played in since 2014.
So he beat you off the game, is what you saying?
No.
Oh, okay, that's
No,
what I heard.
I'm still playing. See you playing around. See you playing around. So yeah. So thanks for
sure,
coming
for
in
sure.
with us. We
appreciate
greatly appreciate it. So I want to get right into it because it's a
Okay.
different energy when you write.
That's what I heard.
It's a different energy when you write. So
Okay.
last episode, what happened was I had Bird in my top 10. Shane did not have Bird in his
Nope.
top 10. So he told me, it was his idea. This was your idea.
Uh-huh.
Put a poll out, see who should be in the top 10. Who's better? Who's a better player, KD or Bird? The results.
Go for it. It's still not going to change my opinion on
We
it.
have Kevin Durant coming in at a nice 46%. Now,
That's close, though.
Those of us that can do math knows that there is a bigger percentage out there for Larry Bird.
All right.
54%. So
Yeah.
okay, so go ahead. What you
So
say?
if you take KD
Yeah.
and you put him on that Celtics team back in the 80s, I guarantee they're a better team. But if you take Bird and put him on that Thunder team, they won't make it to the finals.
You know,
with Russ
That's debatable.
and
Yeah,
James
that's
Harden. I don't
definitely-
think they get
that's
out
definitely
because they had to go through
debatable.
Kobe in them, and I don't see Bird going through Kobe.
I think you need to
They
go
in
watch
the
some
same
Bird
position.
highlights.
Yeah,
man. I think you need to go watch some Bird highlights. Camille, what
I
do you
think
think?
he was good,
Okay.
but he's no KD.
I feel like that Laker jersey is tainting your opinion right now with the.
So what do
Boston
you?
wait.
So if you had a vote, KD or Larry Bird, who you picking?
So is the question who is better
Who's
between
better?
the two?
Who's better? That's what the question that I
Yep.
put on.
Who's
Who's
better?
better?
KD or Larry Bird? So you look at KD. I ain't never seen somebody score the ball like KD. Like
Correct.
that is a guard in a 6'10", 6'11" body.
Facts.
Ain't never been seen before. He can get to his spots. One of the greatest scorers in history. He just entered the top 10 all-time scoring.
Is Bird there? Sorry.
Would have been. I don't believe he's top 10, but he would have been there quicker had he not had injuries, and Bird probably would have been higher had he not had the back problems.
Exactly.
So like,
Achilles tear, KD.
I know I hear you. Modern medicine,
Yeah.
also different.
And you got Larry
I
Bird
respect
with the
that.
back issues. He didn't even play as many seasons as KD. So
Larry, that's tough because for a long time the argument was who's the better small forward, LeBron or Larry.
Larry, yeah.
And I was like, okay, well it's LeBron at this point, and
Yeah.
now the conversation is KD or Larry. And I feel like I'd be disrespectful just to come out and say KD, but that's where I lean.
KD.
I think.
Thank you.
Well,
But I say that not to disrespect Larry Bird. When you're talking about two legendary players,
Yeah.
like it's
Okay.
it's not like I'm saying he's like
Like years ahead of
Kwame
him.
Brown or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just the fact you're talking about two really great players, and not that Larry Bird couldn't score because he could. We all saw that he was knocking down threes before that was even like in vogue to do in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and I think what a lot of people do is they see KD and they be like, oh, like he can score. The only thing that came out of your mouth was he can score. With Larry,
he can do
it
a
all.
lot.
He
Yeah.
can,
He can do it
a
all.
lot. He can do a lot, but I think what you are not talking about is how well he can score. It's not the fact that he can
efficient. Yeah, I
score.
get it.
Yeah, it's efficient. He can score from anywhere on the floor. He can get to any spot. He can make it look so easy.
what you're saying, Larry can do that too.
But he does it so much better. Like, I don't think KD is that far behind him rebounding wise,
You got me
passing
pulling
wise.
up the land of basketball. Let me.
I don't think he's that far behind, but his scoring is that much better. Like, KD would have got there faster.
You know
and
what?
this is going to kind of knock my point a little bit. had he not gone to the Warriors. Because then his scoring dropped for the ring. All right. So that one I'll take. That's a knock against KD. All right. But you got to remember KD had issues too. He got the Achilles tear. And then he was pretty much playing limited games for like a good 2-year stretch. So he took years off his career right there. He would have cracked his top 10 way sooner.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I get what
I
you're
think
saying.
Bird
I'm not
was
saying
amazing.
I'm not disrespecting
you know
KD.
what?
But I think there's been nothing ever like KD before.
I don't
Nothing.
disagree.
There are birds, but there's no KDs.
I disagree with that. There are not birds. There are other white players, but there's never been someone else
take
like
the
Larry
race.
Bird.
No, take the race
Bird.
away.
Who else plays like Larry Bird?
First of all, Braun. If you're talking about small forwards, I think Bird is behind Braun and.
I think he's behind
KD.
Bron, but I actually
But Braun is a better scorer than Bird. People fail to realize like Braun was averaging 27 plus like his whole career. It may not look like he's a scorer because of all the amazing things, but if you average 27 to 30 points a game, you are a scorer. As much as
I think we
Braun
all
doesn't want to
agree
say it.
that LeBron is the best
Right.
small forward.
Right.
So that right there is.
When
Right.
you compare him, you compare all the other guards to like a Bird, right? What does
He's not a
Bird
guard,
do?
though. He's a
I mean, it's a
forward.
forward. What does Bird do that KD isn't? Like, what does he do better than
Pass,
KD?
So,
defense,
I actually-
mentally,
Not
mentally
really.
strong.
Not as much. Like, if you look at the
KD
numbers.
said-
KD doesn't have any all defensive team nods. I just look, Larry got 3. So I'm actually going to walk back again, this is really, really close. And that's why
Yeah.
I was having trouble like deciding. Let me actually look at some stats. And when I looked at him, I was like, KD,
Come on, man.
Larry Bird finished
Come on,
playing
man.
897 games. KD's already passed that 1,000
Yep.
game mark. He's going to continue to play. So he's going to have a
Yep.
longevity argument over Bird, which I think there's something to that, even though he's had those crucial injuries. But when you look at what Bird was able to do while he was playing, like,
with the rings that he didn't go somewhere else.
It's easier time.
With the rings where he didn't go somewhere
the
else.
defense, the passing, the IQ. Like, it's funny because we talk about Magic and Larry all the time together, and they actually share a lot more similarities in their game than I realized until I
Yeah.
went back and watched it a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
Magic might have been a little bit more flashy with the passes, but Larry was getting them off too. Like, not as
to
much
tell
because he wasn't
y'all,
no point
man.
guard, but I'm switching sides. I'm going with Bird.
Thank you.
Nah,
Thank
it's
you.
not Bird. Like,
Thank you.
I think y'all
Thank
look at
you.
it.
Inside.
The game was just so much easier. I think KD. Like,
Okay.
you
I
can,
mean,
you can
listen,
find other
if you want to
birds,
stay on your wrong side,
you're
you
not
go
gonna
ahead
find
and do that,
KDs.
man.
You're not gonna find no other KDs.
I think all-time greats, no matter what era you put them in, they gonna produce.
I don't think Bird does what he's doing.
I
What he did
disagree.
in the
I
80s. I don't think he does.
highly
He's a
disagree.
shooter, man.
You're
Shooters
watching
are
Luka.
shooters.
You
But he
watching
can't
Luka
dribble.
good?
He can't dribble
at
like
Luka.
KD could.
Yeah,
Luka the slowest man on.
But he can dribble. Like, he has his pace.
Okay,
he has
but
all that
check
stuff.
me out, check
Bird
me out.
can't dribble
Okay,
like that, so he's
okay.
not getting to his spots
He didn't have to.
as much.
You telling me if Bird didn't have this modern day, like
Bird
people
wasn't
got
a minus dribbler, by the way,
trainers
either.
and They got trainers just for basketball, just for dribbling stuff. You telling me Bird? Come on, man. Come
I
on.
don't know. I think KD dropping 45 a game back in those days.
Okay.
I must say. 45
With
a
zero rings. And again,
Oh, you
that's
gonna-
what I'm
you
saying.
gonna get
All
rings.
you get with KD
Shoot.
is scoring. You
I
get
mean,
that with
You act like he
zero.
doesn't pass.
No,
Like,
he
he averages like
does.
6
Not
assists
saying
a
that he
game.
don't pass. I'm saying that
He still averages
who
6
does
assists.
KD really make better though? Does
do
he
you mean?
make his team better? Larry makes his team better. KD doesn't make his team better.
Bro, all right. So this is going to be
doesn't make
someone
his team
knocking.
better.
Look. This is going to be someone knocking my bucks on this, right?
He's a scorer.
2021. It was really just KD versus the Bucks.
Because everybody else got
And
hurt.
his foot, and he still took
Everybody always
took
talk
the
about
champs
that
to game
toe.
set, and it was
His
just
own fault.
like obviously, but like think about it. He still hit the shot, whether it was a 2, whether it was a 3.
Okay.
He did everything he could to keep them in that series when he was by himself. He had Bruce Brown as his second leading scorer.
Okay.
What's that got to do with
How does he
anything?
not make his team better if he almost took on a team that ends up
Because
winning
he's
it all?
scoring the ball.
But that's still making your team
And
better.
everybody
You're keeping
always
your team
bring
in
up
the
this
fight.
toe thing. They always bring up this toe thing, but they never bring up he went 0-6 in overtime. Why nobody ever bring up that?
Because he was
0-6.
Think about it. You can put the whole team on KD and really not have to worry about anybody else. PJ Tucker on him. Everybody, like, literally, they double team him.
What
like-
you're saying is scoring. You keep saying scoring.
I will.
That's
thing
what
is-
we keep getting back to is scoring the ball.
how do you win a basketball game? Do you win it off of points, scores, right? You have to score to win the game.
You also got to try to
if-
stop somebody.
True. But
And wait, and to that point, I also think that KD's defense is better than people give him credit
that's
for.
what I'm saying. He actually
It's
does
better
play
than
defense.
what they give him
Nobody
credit
really just
for.
goes out and cooks KD.
He's 6'10". He's
Yeah,
dang near
but that's
7 foot.
understandable.
Like,
But like you don't ever see KD just getting
How many
cooked all
defensive
game.
players of the year you got? How many, even
All
on the
defensive
team?
teams, yeah.
How many teams?
He's
you
not a
got?
great defender, but he's also not a horrible defender.
yes, he's average, if
Like-
not right below at. Like he's better than people think that he is. Like people assume that because he's a bucket, that's all he is.
Exactly. And people
But he's
forget
more
that he
than that.
averages 6 assists, that he averages 8 rebounds.
I
Like
don't
people
see it,
forget
man.
that he
I mean,
is
Bird
averaging
averaged
38 and
averaged
6.
like 10 rebounds, I think, over his career. Like
I
that.
thought it was 11.
Dudes were missing
but,
way
you know.
more shots back then.
Dude ain't putting up more shots now. It's more than grad.
They were
All right,
missing
so
way more. It was
let's-
easy to get rebounds.
Let's go ahead. So this is actually a good segue because we debating KD and Bird.
Both great.
So now,
Both great,
yes,
yeah.
both great, both great. So I got some. They don't know about this though.
Okay.
Here we go.
So I'm going with some rapid fire. Who you taking?
Okay.
So this is modern day though. This is
Okay.
modern day. We're not talking about Bird no more. So I got PG-13 or Jimmy Butler. Camille, who you got?
So the question is, who's better or who I'm taking on my team?
Who you taking on your team?
Give me PG.
PG. You know how I feel about PG.
Jimmy Butler taking
know-
his team to. He's a person
PG did that at 23 versus the Heat, bro. He would have took his team to the finals. He had to play. He had
You
to play
know his
LeBron.
te-
He took.
But look at his
He took
team,
Braun,
though.
Wade. He had Roy Hibbert,
Hey,
who
Roy-
he made look better. Like,
David
what
West.
happened to Roy Hibbert?
David West.
David West was okay.
Keep
Danny
going.
He wasn't in his
Lance
prime.
Stevenson.
Danny Granger
Keep
wasn't
going.
even playing those series against the.
later
Heat.
on,
Yeah, he
yeah.
wasn't playing in those. It was PG at 23 years old taking Wade, Braun, and Bosch to Game 7, 2-3 years
Why
in
are
a
we gonna
row.
sit here and act like he didn't have a full team, man?
But
See,
he was leading that
Jimmy
team. Look,
Butler
at 23
is with Gabe Vincent and taking his team to the
I
finals.
understand that, but
Gabe Vincent as your point guard.
So
going
you
to-
telling
come on,
me-
man.
PG wasn't already doing that 10 years ago, he would have made it to the
And
finals.
what has he done since?
has
He
Jimmy
has had
One
many
time?
injuries.
He has one time that he took LeBron to. This is your claim to fame. Jimmy Butler's been to 2 finals.
Did he ever have to go through Braun? If he had to go through Braun, he's not
Can
making
only
it to the
beat
finals.
who gets in front of you.
Understandable. That makes sense. But look, PG had to go through Braun. If Braun wasn't there, if Braun was in the West, how many teams stop?
Yes.
How many teams have LeBron
If Giannis
stopped?
had a jump shot, he'd
Yeah.
be the greatest
If
of all
ifs
time.
were a
Understandable,
fifth,
but
we would
you
all
act-
be
We'd
drunk.
all be drunk.
Like-
so
True.
you saying
But-
if he didn't have to go through Brian, but he did. So
I'm saying, but he still had a great series. You're acting like, oh yeah, he just didn't make it.
See.
All right, he almost made it. I'll take
I
that.
can't
You
do
have a
it.
point there. But PG was doing that at 23. Like,
Listen,
so
This
he
is why
already
I
was
love these
doing great.
conversations. Because
It's PG though.
you went a whole different way. Like we have the same answer, but went completely different ways as to why. Like
Because I had to go
but
against his
way.
point.
Yeah. So for me, just who am I taking on my team? Paul George is you can put Paul George on any team, and he gonna fit because of his skill set. Like
you don't think Jimmy could do that?
difference between him and Jimmy is that Paul George has a more reliable jumper. So you also get somebody in Paul George. He's not as good of a defender as Jimmy, but he's
So-
also a plus defender.
So who
He's
makes?
an all-time,
so
like-
do you think that Paul George makes his team better than Jimmy Butler makes?
that
his
wasn't
team?
the question. The
I
question
know. I'm just asking. No,
that what
it's
you're
not the
thinking?
question. That's not the question. But I'm asking.
it depends because Jimmy don't. And I say this as somebody who went to Marquette. I love Jimmy Butler. Shout out to Marquette. But Jimmy don't even like to play in the regular season.
That's what I'm saying.
Like once you get to the playoffs,
Listen,
then that's
Turns
different.
up.
Listen. What does it matter? The regular season don't matter if you can make it to the finals. Okay,
Really quick, before we had this conversation before, right? And I pulled up PG's postseason record versus Jimmy's postseason record.
Yeah.
They have the exact same record.
That does not surprise me.
They have the same amount of losses, the same amount of wins, and PG averages slightly more points in the playoffs than
and
him.
he
So it's
still
like,
has only.
Yeah.
And he still has not been to a final.
but they have the same record though.
exact. And he
So
still
it's
has
like-
not been to the finals.
But they still have the same record. He may not have gotten there, but he's gotten the same amount of wins. It's just maybe he played a harder team the year that
Listen,
stopped him
I'm
from
going with
getting
Jimmy.
there.
Man. I'm going with Jimmy.
I'm not mad at it.
So we
I
got.
blame Braun for PG.
Nah, we
Hey, a
got.
lot
blame
of people,
Bron. A
Bron
lot of
stopped
people-
a lot of shine.
Yeah,
A lot of
Jordan
people
did
shine.
too.
And so did Jordan. where
Jordan
it's
did
like,
too. So now we got Fox, De'Aaron Fox, and Haliburton. Right now, who you taking?
I saw this too.
Ooh-wee.
Honestly, because I was literally screenshotted a picture, and it was like they made the wrong trade. They should have traded Fox instead of Sabonis, or something like that. They were saying they was Fox instead of Haliburton. Honestly,
I think this
Give
one is
me-
tough, man.
That is a tough.
really honest, give me Fox. Give me Fox because this is Tyrese's first like real break. He made the All-Star team last year.
Last year was. I
But
say last
this
year was his breakout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Fox has pretty much been doing it his whole career, and he's
Not his whole career. Not the
Honestly, even his
beginning.
rookie year,
No,
he wasn't
no.
amazing. He wasn't amazing, but he was always like, he was better. That's the reason why the Kings traded Haliburton before they traded Fox. Like I think Haliburton is amazing, but like what Fox able to his team made the playoffs last year in the West. The Pacers, even with how good Haliburton is, they're still like not for sure making it in the East. I think Fox is more dominant than Tyrese. Tyrese has like he can dime, he can score, but I think Fox is something about him like I think he has more of a killer instinct
I can feel that.
than Tyrese. Like I think he led the league last year in fourth quarter points.
Mr. Clutch
Yeah,
last
Mr.
year.
So like
Yeah, got the
he can
award.
like attack a different way. So I feel like I give that slight edge because
Fox?
I haven't fully seen that from Tyrese where he can, because this is the first year, 15, 16 games into this season. It's easy to say he looks better, but Fox is number 4 in the league in scoring this year.
Fox had to learn. That's why I disagree with the early year. He had to learn how to control his speed a little bit.
speed.
Yeah.
Like, because at first when he was
He's too
younger, he
fast.
was just like all over the
Yeah.
place. But seeing how his game has grown, he's gotten so much more control. He can de-accelerate as quick as he can accelerate, keep off their toes. He's a bucket
Yeah.
for sure. He doesn't turn the ball over that much at all either. Like, he's a little shaky defensively, but you look at Tyrese and it's like, that man is a facilitator. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a play style question
Lead
too.
the league in assists.
Like if
Fox
it's
had
somebody
16 assists last night.
he did last night, but I mean,
He never
high.
keep doing that.
right, right. But that's the thing,
Halliburton
it's
did
a-
that twice.
It's a play style thing, I think,
Yeah.
too. It's kind of like which play style
Yeah.
is more do you enjoy more?
Yeah.
Because it's like Fox is that speed, them buckets, like he
Yeah.
attacks violently, but Tyrese's such a good facilitator. He sets the table so well, and he
Yeah.
can knock that 3 down. He keeps the defense honest.
Yeah. Fox is not a great shooter.
Like he's not.
Not horrible. He's not a
This
great
ain't
shooter.
no, and I'm not being disrespectful at all, but I feel like in this NBA now you don't see as many true point guards where it's
Yeah.
like somebody who's
Yeah.
really I'm setting the table for my guys.
Yeah.
I see the game, I see this, which is why someone like Chris Paul still has a value.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Tyrese is one of them young dudes where I'm like, you actually got that in you.
Yeah.
And
Make the team better.
I like that. So if I had to pick between Tyrese and Fox, I'm gonna go with Tyrese, and I believe he's younger too. So that's a little edge where it's like I'm gonna have you for a few more years.
And that's
after
the
this
home
going
team
forward.
too. He's from Oshkosh.
He's from Oshkosh, you know, shout.
Yeah, that's where I graduated from.
Oh,
Okay,
what?
so
Until I see Tyrese's
I
killer
got to go
instinct,
with Fox
yeah.
on this one. I'll go with Fox. I think he got that
Just-
killer like, hey, let me go get a bucket, just like what he
Yeah.
did to Lonzo when he was in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like he got that. Yeah, I'm about
got
to
that
give
in
you.
on him.
I'm
He
about
got
to
it.
give you.
Yeah.
Let's revisit this at the end of the year just to
That
see
would
if
be
Tyrese
fun.
develops that.
Yeah.
Because he's still younger. So
So now we got Tatum versus Booker. I'm starting with you on this one, Camille. Tatum or Booker?
Ooh, if Eric was here from Tech File, he would say that Tatum is overrated. I really like Tatum's game.
I think this is a spicy one, right?
This
here.
is because this season we've seen something different with Book because he's been facilitating a lot more.
He's
Like
been
point guard.
passing that
He
ball,
put that headband
man.
on and said, "I'm a point guard now," and I was like, "You look like it, my guy.
Yeah.
Like it's looking like it."
I know my answer.
I think I'm gonna still go with Tatum though. Like, you give me a big. I mean, it's also different. It's a forward and a guard. It's something about having a versatile forward that can play two ways. But Booker's a better scorer.
70-point game, 71.
But Tatum's better on defense. The rebounding probably go Tatum.
He's
Bucket.
tall,
Like
man.
it's tough. And I respect Book after the finals run and everything like that too. And he's developed his game even more. He's come a long way from whining about double teams in practice, and rate games. But I think I'm gonna go with Tatum. Tatum got something in him where it's just again, another bucket. Like, he also can score. I don't know. I have to look up the efficiency numbers. I'm not actually sure between the two of them which one is more efficient. It feels like it'd be
about
close.
the same.
I
Yeah,
feel like it'd be
they're
close
around the
between the
same,
two.
I would say, yeah.
So I'm gonna see. This is a play style thing too. So I'm gonna go with the bigger, the bigger forward over Book, and that's no disrespect to Book, but like if you know how I like to watch basketball and the type of guys I like for example, taking Haliburton over Fox. Like my favorite point guards was Steve Nash growing up. Like I'm a Steve Nash,
too.
Jason
That was mine too.
Kidd.
Yeah.
Like that's what I like. And when it comes to forwards, give me like a two-way type of guy, and I'm always lean that way. So I'm gonna go with Tatum.
Yeah. I'm going Book.
I don't blame
I think the reason why I'm going Book is I feel like, and they're not that far away in age either, so it's not like you can be like, oh, this guy's that much older or whatever. The thing about Book, and I feel like he's actually grown. Like last year in the playoffs when they played the Nuggets, I saw a different Book. Like I think he had one game where he shot like 18 of 22 or something like that versus the Nuggets. He was killing the Nuggets last year. And even coming into this year, he came with that same type of energy. Obviously, they don't have Bill, so he stepped into a new role as a facilitator, having games where I think he dropped a triple-double one game. He had multiple games of 10-plus assists. And I think he has a different killer instinct. I think Tatum, once he can't go to that move, that usual move, then he's kind of like
cooked.
He's kind of cooked.
Yeah, Wiggins.
He's kind of cooked.
Wiggins kind of
Yeah,
in the
he's
finals.
kind of cooked. I think Book has like, and it goes back to killer instinct. Not saying Tatum doesn't have killer instinct,
I don't think
but
he
I think Book has like a certain level of just being like he can channel his inner Kobe because they're both Kobe guys. Like I think Book channels his
Tatum
inner
overdo
Kobe.
it a little bit, but that's another story. Tatum overdo that a little bit.
Yeah. He was like laying on the ball or something like that with the arm
Talking about
bend.
text messages.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm like,
all right, I
it's
get
a
it.
bit much.
I've lost too. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Come on,
like
fam.
I think Book can tap into it and get you're not about to see Book just completely take himself out of the game the way I seen Tatum take himself out, shooting like 4 for 19. Like I just don't see that from Book. And he the last two games of that Nuggets series, he stopped being as efficient because first of all, they're playing the team that won. So the Nuggets, they just have great coaching there. And it was literally KD and Book versus the world. And they still won the most amount of games versus that Nuggets team. And I think Book he played better than KD that series. Like they were double teaming KD, leaving Book open. Book is dropping 40. Like I think what I saw from Book last year and the way he's walking into this season, I feel like even with the injury, he still looks like he has more. I haven't seen that fully yet from Tatum, even though he's made it to the finals. I just gotta
pull the stats real quick because you was on my boy Tatum about the shooting performances. The last couple games for Book. 9 of 21 from the field, 2 of 12, 10 of 25.
Well, he's hurt too.
Got them receipts.
I watched those
baby.
games. But
I hear you.
I watched the games.
But that's,
he was limping.
But it's not unusual for him to have those type of games too.
That's true.
Like for field goal percentage wise, like they're both pretty close with one another.
I think they're pretty close.
To, like, how efficient they are.
I don't think one is more efficient than the other. I think they're pretty close.
I think Book got a bigger bag offensively than Tatum does though.
Oh yeah.
Like that's.
I think
clear.
Book is probably like one of the best tough shot makers.
Yeah.
Did you see his game winner the other day?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not too many people
with a double
in the
team.
world.
Yeah.
Ironically,
It's not too many people in the world that can hit that shot, man.
Yeah.
Like,
When I think about efficiency, like I look at it as if you have a better team, you're going to shoot more efficient because you don't have to take as many of those crazy shots. When it's just you and KD and a team can literally scout you and KD and say, we're not worried about Grayson Allen, we're not worried about Eric Gordon as much, we're not worried about Yusuf Nurkic, like they're obviously going to send a lot of bodies at you. I'm like watching these games because I'm betting money on these games. So I'm watching these games. I've been doing FanDuel a little bit. I'm watching these games and I'm like, they are trapping these guys. Tatum doesn't get trapped as much because you still have
Brown,
other options.
Porzingis.
Even before this year, like he always had more. Like even when you look at it when it was CP3, Book, and Ayton, like we're not worried about 37-year-old Chris Paul as much. We're definitely not worried about DeAndre Ayton. Mikal, he wasn't like Mikal of now. So Book, you can kind of scout everything around it. So he's going to take tougher shots. The same way if you're the number one option on the team and we just know you're the clear-cut number one option, it's going to be a little tougher. Tatum always had Brown who's like, hey, I can defer to him.
Anytime.
Book didn't really have a guy before KD that he could defer to.
That's a fact.
And so he's going to take those tougher shots.
That's a fact. See, y'all, it's I'm supposed to been gone. Y'all
Yeah,
y'all
I
trap
know.
me.
You gotta go. Yeah, we appreciate you coming.
No, I
man.
definitely want to
appreciate
come
it.
back when we got more time to really
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
these conversations. So I hope I get
Absolutely.
another invite back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
All right.
Y'all gonna see her on ESPN soon. So.
Hey, that's the
we
goal.
need to get her
Yeah.
now.
Hey, that's
So
the goal.
we need to get her now.
Hey, if y'all see me, I try to wear Milwaukee when I can. We wear Milwaukee brands around here.
Yes, sir.
Rep it. That's
Got
what's
the
up.
every day, you know what I'm saying? Got the hustle, you know.
Oh yeah, I do got that. I forgot all about that. All right, see you.
All right.
So yeah, so I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go with. This is tough because I gotta go with Book though, man. I think
Yeah.
Book got that killer
Yeah.
instinct. I think he's one of those like I'm gonna get in your face, whether he right or wrong. He's gonna get in your face. And Tatum is just like. I don't know. I just see him as a pretty boy, which is
He's
nothing
more
wrong with
light-skinned.
that. Like, right.
A little more light skin.
You know, and he just like, yeah, I hit a shot, and then Book he hit a shot, he gonna let you
He's
know
a-
it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
So,
He's
I mean,
a killer. Like
yeah.
that's the thing I give him. Like I haven't seen Tatum as much of a killer
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I think he can get there, but like
I don't know if he can. I just don't think it's in his personality. Like Book, you can tell like he's just one of those arrogant. Like,
Yeah,
hey, you can't guard me. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
exactly.
you know that you can't guard me. Tatum is more like. I hit a shot on you and then, do my 3-point celebration, go back, Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm going with Book on that one, though. I'm going
Yeah.
with Book on that one. So this was my last one.
okay.
So we got Giannis or Joker.
All right. So
Who
this
you
is a
picking?
very tough one right here because the whole world knows how I feel about Giannis. I'm in Milwaukee. And I'm starting to like
Don't do it, man.
realize how good Jokic is.
Don't do it.
And so this
Don't
season,
do it.
this season right here, I'm gonna be
Don't
honest.
do it.
My clear-cut answer right here.
Don't do it, man.
Clear-cut answer. I think it's still Giannis, right?
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
still Giannis, but this is the most I ever had to think about it.
Yeah.
Before I'm like, nah, I'm sticking with Giannis
Yeah.
forever. And then I'll start looking at Jokic and I'm like, man, like he really doesn't have too many flaws. Like
think-
he doesn't even have bad nights.
Yeah, I think Joker
It's-
is. I think Joker is crazy, man, and I
It's
think it
insane.
is closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
Like if
like-
you ever pick Giannis, and if people pick Joker, I ain't even mad at it, really.
That's the thing. I used to be mad, like, nah, what are you talking about? Now
Yeah.
I'm like, I respect
Nah,
it.
you gotta respect it.
I
man.
respect it
Like
now.
that dude is good. Man.
Yeah.
That dude is good.
Want to know my deciding factors on it real quick?
Defense.
Defense huge, but I feel like he is a better winner. Even though Jokic can have he has a great record, wins games, but it's like I've seen many times this year where Giannis will turn it over or somebody turns it over, and he is hunting that play down,
Yeah.
chase down block. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to get Jokic doing that.
Yeah.
You're not. Like Giannis is a better scorer. Jokic, he averages more rebounds. I won't say he's a better rebounder because he averages more rebounds. He's a center. Giannis is a power forward. So if you really look at the game, centers are usually in the better spot to get rebounds because their man is not going to be out anywhere. So they're going to be under the basket more. So he averages more rebounds than Giannis. But Giannis is not that far behind him. But you ever look at the numbers, power forwards don't really average crazy numbers. Like they won't average more than a center would. So I'm not going to give, he's a better rebounder because
I mean, I give Jokic a better.
I mean,
rebound, man.
I
think
do,
he's
but
a
I'm saying
better
I'm not
rebounder.
like I'm not looking at it as like a stat way. Like,
I see.
he
I
averaged
feel you. I
13,
feel you.
Giannis averages 11. So he's just, but I'm like, he's also in better positions to get it. He is a better rebounder, but I'm not looking at it as, man, he's just that much better.
Yeah.
He's a better passer, which is obvious. He has a better post up. He has a better shot.
But
Not
Giannis-
all those things just make you a
Yeah.
better overall player.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't. Like I think about a game if they would just have to guard each other. Like if somebody like the game plan was Giannis, you be on Joker. Joker, you be on Giannis.
No.
The Nuggets will get lit up.
Yeah,
The Nuggets will
nah,
get
yeah.
lit up because
Joker can't guard a
he
parked
can't.
car, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, you notice. So what I learned really quick, as I used to take the unders on whoever was the other center versus Jokic because he's good at getting people in foul trouble. And I used to think, man, since he's going to spend so much time, since people are going to spend so much time having to guard him, they're not going to be too worried about their offense. But I noticed the centers always do great against Jokic. Like, they always have good games versus Jokic. And I'm like, I thought he would take them out because they have to spend so much energy guarding him. The best way to guard Jokic is just to do the same thing on the other end. It's to pause. It's to go at him. It's score buckets on him. Get him tired. Like,
that's what people used to do to Steph Curry too. Like,
just go at him.
I mean, for the record, I'm going with Giannis on this one.
Yeah.
I think it's real close, and I'm not mad if somebody
close.
picked Joker on this one. I ain't mad at it. But speaking of Giannis, right? So, do you think Giannis and Dame is bailing out Coach Griffin? How you feel about Coach Griffin, man?
All right. I feel like
This
they're
is
absolutely.
a big, spicy debate right now. I'm telling you now.
I feel like they're absolutely bailing him out. And it's different if you look at it from, if you're not watching games and you're not a true basketball fan, you look at their record, they're 14-6, you're like, oh, they look good. But you watch the games and they literally only win because of their talent. Like, I don't think
a bad thing though.
it's only going to get you so far. Like, good players can take you somewhere, but a great coach behind those good players can win you rings. It can take you even further.
feel that.
And so I think the thing about Griffin is, if you look at the end of games, it's not like they've drawn up some immaculate plays to win a game. It's literally, we have better players than your players. Giannis is better than anybody on your team. Dame is most likely better than anybody on your team. So we're going to win because we have two better players. Like, you think about pickup ball, you can have a team that's decent, but if you got the two best players on the court, because when you play pickup ball, you don't have a coach out there.
So
you have the two best players, you're going to win.
Let me poke a hole in that. So the Clippers, they got a lot of talent. They got 4 Hall of Famers over there, and they're still not winning.
It's because first of
This
all,
is why I'm saying, like, I don't think that Giannis and Dame are bailing them out. I think that Giannis and Dame is doing what they do. Dame is the most clutch player since 2012. He's just doing what we're in this position. Dame, come help us out.
all right.
He did that over in Portland too. He's in this position. Giannis, the most fourth quarter points. Giannis is just being Giannis.
Yeah.
Dame is just being Dame. I don't think they bailing him out.
This is
man.
where I'm going to poke a hole in your argument right here. Why are they in all these close games if they're that good? Think about it, right? Giannis last year, this is the most minutes Giannis has averaged since 2018. In 6 years, this is the most minutes he's averaged. The reason why is because he has to play out there longer. If Giannis is so amazing and he's playing out there so much longer, why are these games still close? Why are we averaging? Why are we giving up this amount of points?
And you think
a
that's
game?
because of the coach?
I think a great coach will figure out how to not have these games be this close. Because if you have the 2 top 75 players, right? The top, arguably, the two out of the top 15 players in the league right now, why is every game close? Like, I think they only had, like, out of their 14 wins, only like 3, maybe 4 of them has been won by more than 10 points. They have a worse margin of different, like points margin difference than the Nuggets. They have it worse than the Celtics, worse than the 76ers, worse than almost everybody in the top 6 in the East. I think a great coach figures out how to not let a team average, like, give up 118 points a game. Like, that's just not great coaching.
That's just where I disagree with you. Because, okay, yeah, should we be in the close game with the Wizards?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But let me ask you this. If you win by 30 or you win by 1 point, is this still a W in the column?
It's a W, but it's about.
I don't care if you win by 1. I don't care if you win by 2. I don't care if you win by 70 points. It gives you the exact same W.
No,
and,
it don't.
And what's
doesn't.
gonna happen? No, what's gonna happen is these clutch situations that you're having, is gonna be good for the playoffs. All them blowout wins that you getting in the regular season, those ain't gonna happen in the playoffs. So we getting our run now with when things get tight, we not scoring 132 points. When things get tight, we figuring that out right now.
That's true.
And you think he should be fired?
I won't say quite yet, but I am losing my faith in him. I'm losing my faith
He's third or tied for second in the East right now.
He's not. Dame and Giannis are tied.
What's the difference?
Bro, it's literally like this, right? If you take two of the best players in a gym, right, and go play pickup ball, they're probably going to win because they're just better than everybody else. They don't need a coach because they're just better than everybody else, right? So how many times you've seen playing pickup ball where it's just like two good players, they just dominate. It's just them two. They run the team off the court. They keep running.
I don't feel that, man.
Because they don't need a coach. I
that.
feel like with Giannis and Dame, they're literally just like, we're better than them. So we can just win off of that. Because look at
the talent when KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Look at that talent, man.
They had Steve Nash as a coach. What happened to him?
Exactly
He
my
got
point.
fired.
But they have talent.
But they didn't have a great coach.
Their talent should have won them a lot of games. Should have got them into that. I mean,
they did win a lot of games.
I mean, Kyrie did get hurt. Harden did get hurt. So that was actually a bad example because they was injured.
Because you can only go so far having just talent. And so my thing with the Bucks is like they can only go so far. Obviously, they're winning these close games. But if you're having close games every night, mentally you're getting stronger because you know how to win in those games, but physically it's exhausting.
I feel that.
It's exhausting playing 38 minutes a night just to beat the Wizards.
Regular season, I don't care how you get a dub. Go get a dub.
But you won't make it to the playoffs.
How you not going to make it to the playoffs if you win in these close games? No, I'm saying
physically. Physically, it's going to be, by the time you get to the playoffs, you're like, man, like players, I've seen a lot of times when players think they look at it.
Professional athletes knowing how to take care of their body.
Then why are so many players missing games then?
Because
why did load management become a thing?
That's a part of the NBA season. That's a part of taking care of your body.
Understandable. What I'm saying is
it's
going to get to the point where people are going to start missing games because a lot of teams, what they do is if they have a back-to-back, the first game is the Wizards. The next game is versus the Celtics. A lot of teams game plan to blow the Wizards out so that way they can rest their starters a little bit because they're on a back-to-back. What happens if you're going against the Wizards and you go into overtime? Like the Bulls, you go into overtime. What if you have a game the next day?
I mean,
that stuff starts to add up and get
I get
exhausting.
what you're saying, but with the Bucks just last year? We was number one in the league. Number one in the flamed out in the first in the first round. So like
Giannis was
blowing
hurt.
teams out. True, blowing teams out and winning by one or two. I don't think it's a big difference, man.
I think defensively he hasn't figured it out, and I have yet to see.
You do know
him.
over the last 10 games, right? You saw the stats of the last 10 games.
We've been getting better, but
we're number 11 in the last 10 games, and it probably better because of the Hawks game that we went to last night.
I think they're definitely bailing him out off of just their skill and talent. I haven't seen enough yet from Griff to say, oh, it's because of the coaching the reason why we won. You know that yourself.
When you have players like Dame and it's just like Phil Jackson. He had Jordan, one of the greatest player or the greatest player to ever play the game. Is he bailing out Phil Jackson? Jordan bailing out Phil Jackson? No, it's just what they do. It's just what Dame does. It's just what Giannis does at that particular point. Am I upset that we're in that position against the Wizards? Absolutely.
But it's not just it's everybody. It's the Pistons, bro. It's
Doesn't
the Portland
matter.
Trailblazers. We were down 26 at home.
Did we get the dub? Yes or no?
Because we got better players and they suck. Literally. It's just because they suck. Like, the trash teams will find a way to lose. Like, there's no way you up 26 in the third and lose. Like, trash teams will be trash. They will find a way to be trash. That's why
Okay.
they're trash.
Did we win those games? Yes or no? What
Because
right now?
we have better players.
I think what people are complaining about, you're complaining about winning. It's not winning how you want it to win.
But
so
you asked
you're
the question.
saying,
But your question was, are they bailing him out?
no.
I honestly don't think his coaching is winning us the games. I think we have better players, so he can easily say, hey, I'll just move out the way. Y'all go get the W. And I think that, in a sense, is bailing him out because you don't really have to draw up plays. You say, Dame, go do what you got to do. And if Dame doesn't do what he does, then that's because the coaching right there. You got to draw up plays. You got to make this game happen.
That's
you're
the
relying,
coaching.
you're relying
That's
on
the
your players.
coaching, though.
That's not coaching.
How is it not coaching? Dame, it's your time. Go do what you do. Or
not
is
coaching.
it, hey, Dame, don't do what you do. Go, let's run a play and something. No,
That's bailing.
That's coaching.
That's bailing him out.
Him calling for Dame to get the ball and do what you do is not a bailout. That's coaching. Hey, Dame, go get the ball.
If he was a good coach, we wouldn't be in those positions.
We wouldn't be
versus
second.
trash
we wouldn't be
teams.
second in the East. Tied for second in the East.
That's because we
tied
have better
for
players.
second in the
Bro,
East.
if we still
man.
had Drew Holiday,
we wouldn't be second in the East. I can tell
we
you
would
that.
be with this same coach.
We would not be second.
We
in
will.
The East.
We'd be like 11-9 or something like that. It's because we just have more talented players that can bail him out.
I mean,
You got
it's a good luxury to have, man.
It's a great luxury. It can
And
help
I'm saying-
a coach that's not
Okay,
good
okay.
get his feet under him.
So when he says, "Hey, Dame, it's your time," him calling the play, the coach saying, "Dame, you go do what you do." That's him calling the play. What we need right now is Dame time. Dame, you go do. It's no different than Giannis, go run the pick and roll and go get us a bucket. It's
You know
no
what's going
different.
on? You know what's
No,
going
it's
on?
different.
He's trying to coach the whole game and it's not working. And that's the reason why every game is close. And then he like, man, I don't know what to do. Dame, bail us out. Giannis, bail us out because I've been trying to coach
think
all
it's
three
bailing
quarters.
out, man.
I've been trying to coach all 3 quarters and it's not working.
I mean, you still got to be to a point to win these games, though, too.
but
you
then
know?
you're going into these games, going into the fourth quarter, like in the third quarter, you're down 26. I seen late in the Pistons game, down 10 to the Pistons. The Pistons almost got a win on us, bro.
They got a W.
They almost got a win.
Come on, man. You should know that there's always going to be a few games out of the
trash team-
82 season that you are going to lose that you're not supposed to lose.
I think this, right? When you have the best players, and we can move on, I think when you have the best players, you don't just only win in the last 6 minutes. Like, if you had a great coach and great players, these games will look easier. Every game looks
I don't
difficult.
want a game that looks easy, man.
I'm not saying,
I
but
don't
when
want
you're
a
good,
game that
you
looks
will have
easy.
games that look
Because
easy.
if you're not going through no adversity during the season,
But you have to go through adversity every
we were
game.
blowing people out at the Bucks, and we lost in the second round.
So you're telling me you have to have close games every single game to build
I'm
adversity.
not saying you got to have
but
close
that's
games.
what we're doing. Every game
Is
we
it a
played,
W?
we're down at one point in the fourth quarter. In the last, I think, 11 games, you take maybe I think one of the Wizards games, we've been down
I
in the
think
fourth
what a
quarter
lot of
in
Bucks
every game
fans are doing is we're complaining about winning. That sounds strange to me.
because we haven't really played great teams.
And
when we
we're
played the Celtics,
second.
we played the Wizards twice. We played the Pistons. We played the Bulls. Lost against the Bulls. We beat the Heat without Jimmy, and we beat them again one other time
So
without
we beat
Bam.
the Heat twice. We beat the Mavericks. We just beat the Hawks. That just came off of Trae Young going crazy.
And we're a good home team. All right, we're 9-1 at home, and we're 5-5 on the road. Right, so we look better at home. But none of these
that's
like,
everybody though.
understandable. But I'm like, we've been getting our wins versus trash teams at home, barely winning.
A win is a win, man. I don't care if it's by
It doesn't
a
matter if it's a
blowout or
win,
it's
but
a 1
that doesn't
point.
answer your question though. It's about are they bailing him out? So win is a win. I'll take the win, but it's also I
don't
believe
think they
how
bail
we're
him
winning
out.
is because we have more talent.
I think Dame is doing what Dame do. Giannis is doing what Giannis do. I don't really see I don't think they're bailing them out, man.
They're doing what they do.
doing what they supposed to do.
Exactly. which is bailing him out. We got it.
Listen,
You gonna move on because they definitely bailing him out, bro.
I don't think so, man. I think they just.
So you think
doing
he's doing a great job coaching?
I don't think he's doing a great job coaching.
So who do you think right
I
now,
don't-
if you look at
I'm
who
not
gives more
saying
credit?
fire him, though.
Look, I'm not saying fire him, but I'm saying he's not. They're bailing
I'm
him out.
gonna always give the players more credit because they're the ones out there doing it.
All right.
Always.
So if you put it on a scale, like you got 70% is the players, 30% coaching, 40, 60, 55, 45. Where
I
are you
think
kind of putting that
it's-
line in?
You mean the whole game, or you just mean like in general?
In general, as a team, like who's?
I
it
think
Dame and Giannis.
I think that it is. If I had to put a percentage, I would say 30% coaching, 70% players.
AKA bailing him out.
No, it's
They
not.
got the larger
It's
piece of the
not.
pie.
Oh,
They got the larger piece of the pie.
because they're the
It's
ones
them.
that's going out there doing it. Like,
Bro, when they winning these, they never even doing it off of play calling. They just doing off of, hey, we better. Giannis go ISO him. Dame go ISO him. Dame go.
that's
Giannis go set a
that's
screen.
coach play.
Bro,
That's
you
a
don't even
coach play.
coach. You don't even need a coach to do those things.
You're telling me
You don't need a coach to have Dame go. Giannis go set a screen for Dame. Dame comes around, pull up 3-pointer, or
Well, I mean,
you don't
we
really
need
need
to
a
do
coach
it
for that.
more. That's why I say I don't think Griffin is a great coach, but I think that I think he needs improvement.
they're
But I'm
bailing
not
him
gonna
out.
say they're bailing him out though. I'm always gonna get the players more because the players out there, they're the ones that's doing it. He's not hitting the shots and all
he's
that
not even
other
calling
stuff.
the players for them to hit the shots. They just
I'm
doing it
pretty
themselves because they're
no,
good.
he is because he's the one that says, "Hey, Dame, it's your time. Go draw up the play for Dame."
All right. So is he making them look good, or are they making him look good?
I think it's a watch. I think
actually-
it's both.
Is he making them look better than what they are, or are they making him look better than what he is?
Now you're asking a different question. Is this
Nah, 'cause
bailing
that-
out,
that-
or
that
is
is-
this
that
bailing
is
out?
bailing.
This is a different
Who-
question now.
Are they making him look better? That 14-6 record. Who would you attribute that
But
more
again,
to?
that's not fair because I gave 30% of his coaching and then 70%. So obviously the players got to make the coach look better because I'm got 70%. Like
If
that's
you don't have
that's
two
like a
top-
given.
If
That's
you don't
a
have
given.
two top 75 players on the team, I guarantee this man will have a losing
So
record.
what do you want Griffin to do? What record would you be okay with right now? We're
What-
14 and
it's
what,
not about-
6.
I-
What do you want us to? We're second in the East. What else?
I want
do
us
you
to
want
stop
Coach Griffin to
relying
do?
on Dame and Giannis to win every single game.
So stop relying on your two top 75 people.
Exactly,
So
'cause if you're a
stop.
great
Tell
coach, you
Dame
find a
and
way.
Giannis to stop being great.
No. Find a way to make them great, but find a way to make everybody
Dame
great.
and Giannis to
where
not
the
be great.
game looks easier. A great coach with these players will make the game look much easier.
I don't
A great
see it,
player-
man.
Great players with a great coach like that will find
Yes,
ways to
okay.
make it look
Coach
better.
Bud made our regular season look
He also got- he
crazy
got a-
nice.
Yeah, he got a ring
Yeah,
too.
crazy nice. And what happened?
He also got a ring.
And what happened? We got one ring, which I'm not mad
That's not
at.
easy
I'm
to
not
do.
mad at. I'm not mad at.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, you can look good at 30. You can blow these teams out by 30 points. It's not gonna help
I'm
you
not
in the
saying-
playoffs, man.
I'm not saying you got to win every game by a lot, but some of these games, they should be easier
You
to
don't
win.
think you don't think we're gonna win easy games?
We haven't. We only won like 2 easy
You're not
games.
answering my question. It's a whole nother. It's still 75% of the season left. You don't think we're gonna have easy games?
I think so, but as of right
All
now,
right.
20 games. Look, 20 games into the season, I do think because he's a new coach, I think they're bailing him out right now until he
Nah,
gets his
man.
footing right. He hasn't got his footing yet. He's still new to it. So right now, I don't necessarily think it's his coaching that's winning the games. It's like, all right, we're kind of saving them. We're winning
Dame
these
and
games.
Giannis being great is y'all the problem. That's
not
essentially
the
what
problem.
you're saying.
Literally, what I'm
Dame and
saying.
Giannis being great at the end of the game is bailing out the coach.
It is. It literally
I
is
don't
bailing
see
him
it,
out.
man. I don't see it. So let's go to 94 feet. Let's go to 94 feet player of the week. Or let's start with the team.
Team of the week. So I'm gonna go player first
Go play.
because I feel good about this one.
I feel good about this.
Because there's no way you topping it, pause, unless you have the same player, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox moved into the top 5 points per game. His team is winning. They beat the Nuggets last night. They're looking good.
On the back-to-back, though, but go ahead. Regardless,
The Nuggets suck on the road.
Fair.
And he
suck even
had
more on the road
16
than
assists.
back-to-back.
16 assists last night. They got Murray back. And, the Nuggets got Murray back. Still a loss. I think Fox has been looking good. 30 points per game he's averaging right now. He even passed Giannis.
35. Overall. Just last week he's averaging 37, 7 helpers and 7 rebounds. So that's who I had, but I had Haliburton as well. They
haven't been winning. They had a losing record this week. That was the only reason why.
Yeah, but you still got to give it to the individual player. So this is just the player. This is not the team.
Yeah.
So that's why I had Fox.
Yeah.
But you picked Fox, so I had to Haliburton 34 a game, 9.5 assists per game.
I think that's great.
Man.
I just think
Crazy.
Fox has had a great week, and he had a winning record. So that's why I give him a slight edge.
So who's your team then?
Team. And it's crazy because I don't like really any of these teams, so I don't like giving them credit. But I got to go Celtics just because, I think Porzingis been having some issues.
He's been,
and yet they still remain
you're
number
not
one.
surprised with that though. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised that he is having his issues, but I think they were able to still stay strong.
Yeah.
And so I hate giving the Celtics some credit, but
You know
I
who
guess I got
who you slept on? The
Who?
Knicks, man.
I actually had them too.
You slept on the Knicks, man.
I had 'em.
3-0. They won the in-season tournament. They got to go play the Bucks next Tuesday. I had the Knicks, man.
I actually had them written down too.
3-0, and they was balling, man.
Look at that right there.
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is like, that dude is an all-star, man. That dude, he can ball. So who do you have for not team of the week? I'm gonna tell you who I got for not team.
Who?
I got the Suns teams, man. The whole team.
The Suns?
The Suns, man. Let me tell you why. These fools just can't stay healthy, man.
Yeah.
How when Book comes in,
They playing tag team,
and
bro.
I'm just like, come on.
Who gets to play with KD tonight?
Exactly.
You go, I go.
Exactly.
It's your turn to play with KD
I'm giving
tonight.
the whole Suns
Pause.
team, come on, man.
Yeah, that's
y'all
insane.
can't get healthy. Come on, man. So I gave the whole Suns team, Bradley, Bill, KD, Devin Booker, y'all got to get healthy, man. Bill with his back issues, and I just don't want this to be one of those what happened in
Brooklyn.
what happened in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I'm giving the whole Suns team the not for the week.
That's
man.
valid. I got somebody worse. Still in the West too. I got the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, okay, good.
Who you thought I was going to say? Spurs again?
I thought you was gonna say no. I thought you was gonna say Spurs.
I can't give them back to back.
I mean, it's a few teams that you.
But
can
it's just
put in there.
they're gonna be there. So it's I gotta make it challenging for myself.
Yeah.
Because I can just easily be like, oh yeah, it's them. They gonna be that spot
Why
every
you got
year.
the Mavericks, though?
I gotta give other people recognition. The Mavericks. The reason why they're down there is
I know
because
where this
they're
is
11-8 now.
Yep.
They started off number 2 in the West for the longest. Now they dropped down to number 6. They always come out the gate strong, and then they just slowly start dwindling down, and then they start missing games. They start playing tag team. Hey, Kyrie, you play tonight. I won't.
You know they
And
just
then back
lost to
and
the
forth.
Grizzlies too, right?
Exactly. They lost to the Grizzlies. Granted, Luka had a baby, so he didn't He didn't play.
I don't care if Luka had a baby.
That's
Listen,
what I'm saying.
congratulations, Luka. But your team should still beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm still giving them the L, all right, they didn't have the top 2 scorer in the league, but they still should have won. And the reason why they trash is because Kyrie went 3 of 15, I think, that game.
You know what's crazy?
Did
I
horrible.
bet on him on that one.
Did absolutely horrible. He's supposed to step up to the plate. So he dragged his team down. And then last night, bro, they were down to the Thunder. Went on a 30-point stretch. 30 straight points.
30-0.
Went 30 straight points and still lost. I'm mad at both teams. I'm absolutely
Hey, that's
both teams deserve.
Hey, that's legit mad at both of them. How
I'm
you
mad
let a
at
team go
both of
30
y'all, bro. It's
but then they still
it's I look at it like this, man. It's like you playing the game, right? You playing a game and you think you pause it. Your mom call you. It's like, hey, come get these dishes. Come do the dish. Come do your chores. So you're like, all right, boom. You put the controller down and you go and you come back. And you're like, oh, I didn't even pause the game. I never paused the game. I didn't let the team score 30 straight points. I mean, you pick the controller back up and you just win the game. Like I feel like that's literally what happened last night.
That's funny.
Like the Mavs was like, all right, they're not playing anymore. We're gonna score as soon as they came back. Like that was just foolish, bro. There's no way you can go on a 30-point comeback, be up by 6 points, and find a way to lose to a guy named Chet. Like, there's no way.
Hey, they do got some. I don't know.
They got hoopers.
I mean, they got.
If they were really
Maverick.
hoopers, they would have never let them go 30 straight.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Mavericks, they got some good up and coming players though. They got Lively. They got Lively. They got Josh Green. I think Josh Green can be good, man. I think Josh Green.
They were good. They would have won that game.
Speaking of up and coming players, who's the best up and coming player right now?
So, when I think about best up and coming player, I'm thinking about what's the age cutoff. Like you're saying, like, or how many years they've been in the league. So you're thinking like best players under 25 or best players in the last 2-3 draft class, because I think that matters because you got a guy like Luka who's still not even 25 yet.
Yeah, but he's kind of here already.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what is it?
He's not up and coming.
That's what but he's at the same age as some of these players. So it's like,
yeah, I feel what you say.
so it's like, where's the cutoff on it? Is it like where they drafted in the last 3-4 seasons?
Yeah.
Because like you
feel
got
what
Shea, but if you say Shea, then you got to say Luka, and I think,
I feel what you're saying.
and then you got to say any of these other guys.
I was thinking
So-
more like a rookie. That's what I was.
Okay, so you're thinking like rookie or last 2 draft class?
I was thinking about rookie, like last 2-3 years.
Last 2-3 draft class.
Yeah.
Okay, so from that, let me see.
Because I got
You
this
got
one
Wemby, you
dude
got
that
Chet.
you probably don't
You got-
even know about.
You got Shaden Sharp
Over
looking good over
in
there.
the Pelicans,
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about Hawkins, something
Jordan
like that.
Hawkins. That's
Yeah,
who I
he's
got.
good.
Listen, he's gonna be good, man.
Yeah,
That's who I got for the best up and coming
Mm-hmm.
player, man. Cause he's one of those like he keeps it simple. Like he had interviews like,
Yeah.
oh, I keep it simple. I don't gotta do all these moves. I could shoot. He could shoot.
yeah, he can shoot.
I think he's gonna be good, man. When McCollum was out, he was holding it down. I like Hawkins, man.
Yeah,
best
I
up and
don't.
coming.
I'm not
He
putting
said
him on
I
my
don't.
list because 2 straight games I had the money line on the Pelicans versus the Utah Jazz, bro, and they lost back-to-back games to the Utah Jazz, and I think one of the games Laurie wasn't even playing.
I think that team.
I think both teams Laurie wasn't playing.
No, I don't think he played. I don't think he's
And
played.
the
in a
Jazz sucks, bro. Like, I think Zion played both games. What's his name? Ingram played both games, and your boy Hawkins played both, and they didn't find a way to beat the Utah Jazz. He got outshined by that Keontae dude.
Keontae George.
So I can't put him on my list. I'd rather put Keontae on my list because he outplayed Hawkins in both of those games.
I think if
Rookie matchup.
Yeah, but Keontae, he's more of like he's a starting point guard. Like, but
You just said what's the name stepped up when CJ was out.
correct.
He ain't step
so
up
I'm
enough.
thinking if Jordan was in that starting point guard, then it would have been a better. I think Jordan would have had a better game than Keontae if he was in that start and he got those minutes that Keontae.
Who ended up starting over him? Who was the guard that started?
It was CJ McCollum.
I don't think he was back at that time.
What do you mean?
The 2 games versus the Jazz when they lost. I don't think CJ was back yet. Oh, he maybe was back for
No,
the
I
second
think
one.
he might have been back. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not the first one, but I know he definitely wasn't on the first
Yeah,
one.
I
'Cause I
didn't
remember
check
checking
the
the stat
starters.
line
Yeah, I didn't
and
check
seeing
the
your boy
starters.
did not help me out.
Listen, I'm pretty sure he helped you out because he helped you get some points and some threes. But I mean,
He
he's
helped
not
you
a
get a win.
game changer right now. You know, like
But
still-
he played alongside 2 guys that are game changers, and they still lost. So
That's debatable, man. I'm not saying.
I'm throwing-
I'm
yeah,
not
I'm not-
saying. Listen,
I'm not rocking
I don't
with
really
him after
like.
that. When I start losing money, it started getting personal. So
Yeah,
it's personal with me and this guy here.
I feel you. So let's go ahead, switch topics, and we're gonna go with point differential in the East season tournament. So there's a lot of players that's been talking about this,
Yeah.
man. Like, do you think? How do you feel about the point differential? Because all the dude, DeMar DeRozan and I think Jaylen Brown. They don't like like the integrity of the game, like like respect the game. How you feel about that?
All right, so I think it's a good and bad thing, honestly, because if you have two people with the same record, I think they did that. Well, actually, I don't even think you get the same record. It's like you play each other a certain amount of time, unless somebody goes 3-1 and the other person goes 3-1. I think that's a way. Mm-hmm. But then what do you do at that point if they both 3-1? You got to have some deciding factor.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm okay with if it's a deciding factor. I think it's another sport that has something similar like that when it comes to playoff. Mm-hmm. And so I think there has to be some deciding factor if y'all played the same group of guys and y'all had the same record.
Yeah.
So it's not like some team played a team that the other team didn't, because they play everybody in that group. Group C plays everybody in that group. And if we just happen to score more points than you, then we score more. Like, we beat the teams worse.
Yeah,
you could have beat that team just as bad.
It's 3 minutes left, you up by 20, or 2 minutes left and you up by 20, and you still got Tatum and you got Brown in. Or it's 3 minutes left and you doing hack-a-shack to Andre Drummond. You're up 40 already.
It's Andre Drummond's fault, bro. Learn how to shoot. You get paid millions of dollars, and you're mad because people are sending you to something that's called free throws. Like, I will never, ever be mad at somebody
right.
for hack-a-shacking somebody. Like, think about it. They're called free throws.
Even though the game is over, though.
It doesn't
that's
matter.
What they're saying. Respect the game.
You
take the win.
You know it's not
respecting.
You know it's not respecting the game. Not working on your free throws when you're getting paid millions of dollars. That's not respecting the game. Because think about it like this: if somebody says, "Oh, I know a way to beat you guys," is to give one of your player that makes millions of dollars something called free shots, free throws, and that's my way. Like, no way. It's disrespectful to the game by not working on your game.
Yeah.
And so if I find any way to exploit your weaknesses,
would you get rid of it, or the point differential, or would you keep it? Listen, for me, I'm saying this. All right,
I got an answer to that too, so I go.
I'm saying, listen, if you don't want me to score as much points as I need to score to get to the next round, stop me. Lace them up. Come on, play defense.
Yeah.
Stop me. If you can't stop me,
that's your fault.
It's your fault. If you can't stop me, it's your fault. Lace them up. Listen, this game, I'm going for broke. Yeah. Like, I'm not explaining nothing. I'm not telling. You know what it is.
So
this is the in-season tournament. You don't want me to score all these points? Stop me.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about the point differential.
The only tweak I would make to it, because they all have to play each other. Mm-hmm. And it still actually wouldn't work because what I was going to say is you take the point differential with when they played each other. So if a team had the same record, I'll take the team that won that matchup. So, for example, I think the Magic ended with the same record as the Celtics, but the Celtics advanced because they had a bigger point differential. But the Magic beat the Celtics. So what I would do is say, if they played each other, who won out of that matchup?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that way it canceled out the point differential because y'all played each other, y'all had the same record, y'all played each other, and that team beat you. So technically, they did look like the better team in this division because they beat you.
That's how they used to do it with the old way of, like, you get the top 8 teams, and then if the 8 teams got the same record, whoever
won that matchup. I think you just keep it super simple with that. Yeah. I don't know why the point differential came into it. That wasn't smart. I like it to some degree because you get to see people compete and you get to see people get exploited. Like but it didn't come in handy, even though the Warriors still lost to the Kings.
Yeah.
But the Kings had to lose by at least 11 for the Warriors to make it. So even if the Warriors beat them, they still wouldn't advance unless they won by 12. Exactly. And at that point, I'm like, that's kind of lame because I beat y'all. But
the only thing I don't like about the point differential is, like, you get to a point where it's like, okay, your starters are in, you're up by 30, and your starters are in with 3 minutes left. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just risk of injury. Yeah. You risking injury for what, 500,000? Like, this dude make 51 million a year. You think he's not even caring? This 500,000 ain't going. You think this 500,000 is worth your job? Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah, really, because you can have a season career ending kind of injury.
Exactly,
that changes your game.
Is this really about?
That's a great point.
But last question here. Russell Westbrook, right? I saw him, and he's been doing this for, a few years now. Should fans be able to heckle the players?
Should they be able to heckle them? So I saw Paul George. He says something like, where does any other job where people can come in there and disrespect you? And I was like, that's every job, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, PG, but you probably never worked a regular job in your life, so you don't understand.
Right.
And I'm from New York, and I used to work in Times Square. So people will come in there and disrespect you at your job. Like, so I don't think it should be something that, hey, it should be allowed in a sense. But it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen for the simple fact that, like, people are going to be people. And if they don't like something, then they're going to say something crazy. And so I'm like, I'm worked at retail. People come in there and start talking crazy. Worked at a restaurant, people come talking crazy. And then you're like, oh, yeah, they shouldn't be able to talk to us crazy. Like, every job feels that way. Whether you work you're on the phone, somebody can talk to you crazy on the phone. Like, it's just, is it okay? No, but it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's going to happen.
Right.
Grow up.
Yeah, I think
Grow up, man. It happens to everybody. Like, just because you're a millionaire, you should be able to take that even more, bro.
I think they should be able to heckle the players because I think it's good for the sport for one. Because you got to think about it shouldn't get disrespectful.
That's what heckling. So you can't say it's okay and then give it a cutoff because people are not going to cut it off.
You know what disrespectful. You know right from wrong. You know what's disrespectful and what's not disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's good for the game though. Like, look at Spike Lee, right? Spike Lee heckling Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller turned up then. That's some of the best basketball we've seen from Reggie Miller. You get that when you get some people, when it gets disrespectful, then you see LeBron, hey, pointing out, this is the person that went, get him out of here. When it gets disrespectful, that's when I'm like, nah. But talking smack, just like, hey, you're not good or you can't do nothing. Haliburton, actually, earlier this year, he hit like 3-4 straight threes, and he's pointing at the fan, and he's like, this is your fault. This is your fault. That's some of the best basketball we've seen, So I think it's good for the sport, but it just can't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Us as adults, we know what's disrespectful and what's not. Like somebody saying West Brick, I think that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
For one, that's that man's last name. Yeah. That's a lot of people that carry that last name. Not too many people carry the Russell Westbrook.
His kids, his family, like that stuff makes it different.
That's why he's getting on them now. Like that last name is not something to say. Hey, I can't shoot threes or something like that. I'm good with trash talk.
Yeah.
But when it gets disrespectful, that's when I'm like, nah, man. But I think some of the best hecklers, like I think them the ones that you get them games. Like, I don't know, man. I like it. it.
I mean, like, I don't mind it. Like, I won't say, like, I like it just because I feel like people don't know where to cut it off at. So
I would
never be
slope.
like, and so since I'll say, hey, I understand it. It's going to happen. So be it. Just because that's going to happen at any level of employment, any job, anywhere, you're going to have people that disagree with something and start talking crazy. So I think...
But at the same time,
you can't just be like, yeah, let's allow it, but then we got to stop it here because that's what's going to happen. That's the same way as your job. Like,
okay, but how about
the employee's always, the customer's always right kind of thing.
Yeah, you lying to me.
That's something like it's stupid.
Yeah, so you want the players to show emotion and dunk on people and be able to scream and stuff like that, but you don't want them to get heckled. That's why I'm saying, like, I think
exactly.
That's why I'm saying, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, these fans can say whatever they want, but I can't dunk and scream.
I gotta be at a certain level of professionalism.
Nah, man. Like when it get disrespectful, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Last thing I say is if they gonna make it okay, then they can't keep finding players for heckling back. Like I seen players get fined for like talking crazy to fans in the stand.
Yeah.
So if they talking crazy to me, you gotta make it okay.
But at
if
the
they
same
get fined and they get banned, then you can find me.
Yeah.
But if you're not about to do nothing to them, but you're going to do something to me, that's different.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. I like talk to me. Like,
that's what I'm saying. You got to okay it. Okay both.
Because sometimes that fan gives that player that extra edge to be like, all right, I'm going to wake up. because he talking crazy.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and do my thing now.
Let me hit a shot and let me say something crazy back. Like that's you gotta if you're okay from this way, you gotta okay it that way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I definitely get that. You can't just have it one way. Just have it one way. But yeah, that's the wrap, man. Episode 6.
Episode 6 is in the books.
6 is in the books. Thanks for Camille coming through, man.
Yeah, that was clutch,
Yeah, she's good. She gonna be on ESPN soon, man.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. But yeah, that's it. Had anything for the people, man?
Nah, just remember, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it. And make sure you leave a comment. Let us know who was right. It's usually me.
Just like your KD Bird comment, right?
Hey.
Once we leave it up to the people, I think you should probably abandon that. Because once you say you leave it up to the people, you normally
All right, so you had your audience. I'm going to choose my audience. So this week,
goodness.
we never going to let this go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tune in next episode 7.